Hello and welcome back. I'm Scott.
And I'm Allison.
And today we are jaw-jacking with Jarhead and Ginger.
Are you wondering how to plan your RV trips, especially during these busy times where everyone is booking their RV vacations or their RV trips and the sites are full? Are you having that problem? We're not running into much of it. Let me show you how we do it with the who, what, where, when, and how of RV trip planning. I haven't been much of a planner. I'm more of a procrastinator. And since he's the driver, I'm the trip planner. That has been quite challenging for me to sit down and make a plan so far in advance. But I'm finding it that with everything being so busy right now, the spots are filling up so quickly that I've had to sit down and plan our route and do our bookings as much in advance as I can.
She has always planned our trips ever since we've been married. She used to love doing that stuff, booking the flights and, the right hotels and all that stuff. So she's pretty much a natural at it anyway. So most of this video is going to be her talking and me just sitting here looking pretty.
And I have to give thanks to Pastor David for asking a question on how we do our RV trip planning, how we choose to see what we're going to see on the way and that kind of thing. So thanks, Pastor David, for the idea for this video. And so what we start with the who, what, where, when, and how. The why, of course, is because we love to do this, so I'm not even putting that out there. But the first thing we start with is there a who that we're planning to go see for our travels, for our first destination or our big destination? Is there a who, or is there a where? Is there just a certain place that we want to go? So for instance, for this trip, our first major destination when we left Texas was Oregon. There was a who. We wanted to meet up with Jerry and Teresa from Happy Place Diaries. For the where, they were going to be at a casino in Oregon, and we planned to go to Oregon on the way to Washington to see them. And so our first big destination was that casino in Oregon, and it was over Memorial Day weekend, so it did require some advanced booking. So from Texas, what I did is I chose we already had the who and the where, so that was Jerry and Teresa, and the casino. The next is what we want to do while we're there, and that was going to be to hang out with friends, of course, and to see whatever there was to see in that area. Mostly it was just, that week was just hanging out. So then the when, we had to line up the dates. We knew it was going to be Memorial Day weekend. We also like to choose when we're planning, if there's an event or if there's a festival or a holiday, you have to take those things into consideration, because those will make the campgrounds fill up quicker and just generally make it harder to book if there's a big event like that or a big holiday. Make sure that you stay to the end to see our favorite campgrounds and our favorite tool for planning our route. Stick around to the end for that.
So now we have a who and a where. We're still in Texas at this point, but we have a who and a where, which is Jerry and Teresa and Oregon, a specific campground in Oregon. So how do you fill in from that from Texas to Oregon, all the in between? Because we didn't make that in one single day, obviously.
No, we didn't. So we knew that we had a few weeks to get from Texas to Oregon, and generally we like to travel at a slower pace, but because we stuck around in Texas so long, we only had a few weeks to make it from Texas to Oregon. So what I did is I picked the destination was the casino, and I looked for places. We only like to travel 200 to 300 miles a day. So I look for places within the 200 to 300 mile range that first of all will have a campground that we would like to stay at. So first I will look at 1,000 Trails and Passport America and RPI, and see if there's any of those in the area. And then I'll look for what there is to do, what there is to do around there. And so, I could have this one city that's 300 miles and it has a lot more to do, or this one city that's 200 miles with nothing to do. So I'll go ahead and push it to the 300 mile mark. asking him first, hey, this might be a little bit longer, but is that, going to work? So then I'll go ahead and, 200 to 300 miles, book that campground, and then start planning. Of course, set the dates and then start planning what there is to do in that area. So I'll go to just Google search and, what is there to do in Ogden, Utah, for example. And then we can know what we can do for fun, what we can do for videos, and where we make sure that we want to stay in that area. For example, for the Oregon trip, the destination was the casino. So 200 to 300 miles before the casino was Idaho. So I had the choice of Boise or Mountain Home for that 200 to 300 mile range, and I chose Mountain Home. And so I looked in that area, found a campground, and I believe that was our first KOA stay.
Yep.
And so I hadn't done KOAs in the past, but there wasn't a Thousand Trails, RPI, Passport America in that area, so I went ahead with the KOA. And then I looked for what is there to do in the Mountain Home area, and I thought I'd picked something out. It didn't work out too well. You can look at our other video that we'll put to show a little bit about that. But then, so that'll be 200, 300 miles, what to see, how long to book there. Generally, we like to stay, about 2 to 3 weeks in a place. But again, we were in a hurry to get from Texas to the destination. So we were only picking about 2 nights in each state. The 2 nights is, we have a 2-night rule for putting our stickers in on our U.S. map. So I did at least 2 nights in each state on our way up. And, then I just continue that process, repeat the wash, rinse, repeat. So that 200 to 300 miles, find one of the campgrounds in our memberships and book that campground for however many dates with what we see there is to do there, and trying to keep up at the pace. The next step is route planning. So once I know our stops, I have them all booked, I'll look at the Garmin RV 890 to plan the route, and I use the Google when I'm just trying to see how many miles it is between places, so I can plan our stops. But then when I really get down to planning the route, making sure that the route that we're taking is going to be RV safe, there's not going to be any low clearances, no crazy tight roads. That's when the Garmin 890 comes in, because that you have the settings in there, how big your RV is, and you can use that to plan the route.
And that's each day or each leg, right? You don't plan the whole route you didn't plan the whole route on the Garmin from Texas all the way to Georgia, or all the way to Oregon, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
So each leg, each move day is planned prior to the move day, but not the whole leg all at once. Okay.
Right. So now in between the destination stop, the final one in the plan, then there's little stops on the way that are 2-night stops. But sometimes there might be when you're just trying to get from one place to another and you just need 1 night. That's when Boondockers Welcome will come in handy. Also, Cabela's parking lot, sometimes Walmart parking lots, rest areas. Those are all good for our 1-night stays. But we prefer to try and stay longer whenever we can.
We do. We've lot docked once. Well, in this RV, we've lot docked once. But other than that, we've been at campgrounds, I think, the whole time. Other than the one time the very first stop after we picked it up, we lot docked.
Right. Yeah. So that is how we plan our route. And like I said, we'll go back in and find the places to stay, what to film, what to do, who to see. That comes first, of course. But not only in our destination, but there were people that we wanted to see on the way. So, for example, from Texas, we didn't go the quickest route because we wanted to stop in Denver and see my cousin. So we went a different route than the originally would have been the quickest.
Yeah. So, if you didn't know, we're in Washington now. This was another one of our destinations because we have our daughters here, and a lot of my family is still here as well. So that's where we are now in Washington State, just kicking back, and we've seen the girls now a couple of times. Went over to my mom's and had dinner. Next weekend we plan on going out and doing something with my dad for Father's Day, so that should be fun. And yeah, just hanging out in Washington.
And while we're here in Washington, that's another thing. We're not just staying in one campground the whole time. We like to see the different campgrounds, the different areas. Washington is a big state. There's a lot to see. So we're staying for about a week in each campground, trying to stay closest to where our family is, but we're also going to branch out and go to the ocean and then go over to Eastern Washington and meet up with some more friends. But it's nice to be able to have the flexibility of so many campgrounds to choose from, and booking early as you can so that you can avoid the crowds. There was a campground that I wanted to stay in. Actually, the one that we're in now is the closest one in the Thousand Trail system to Seattle, and I wanted to stay here longer. But this one's very popular and it was booked, so we could only get 7 days at this campground.
Yeah, that's too bad. This is a pretty nice one. There's a bunch of open spots. I don't know why they're saying it's booked, but it does get packed on the weekends. So it's probably just booked for Friday and Saturday night, and then Sunday there'll be room again.
Right.
But this video actually goes along with the video, our next video that's coming out on Sunday. The Sunday video will be our actual travel days from Texas all the way into Oregon. So now she's told you about how she plans it, and then the next video will kind of show you how we do it actually on the road. So that should be interesting. You want to check that one out on Sunday.
That's right. And now thank you so much for watching. We're going to tell you our favorite campground membership, and that is,
for me, Thousand Trails.
Thousand Trails. And why is it?
Because it just saves you so much money. Sure, it's a lot of money up front, or can be, but we were looking just the other day, and it already said we stayed in 150 days in Thousand Trails. If you look at $40 or $50 a pop, that's quite a bit of money right there. So eventually, this Thousand Trails will have us down to $1 or $2 a night, and that's that's pretty good for a stay. If you can stay at a campground for $1 or $2 a night, you're doing all right.
Yes, that's right. So Thousand Trails is our favorite campground membership. We do have others, and all those links are in the description. We'll show you how you can save on that. Just click on those links and you'll get savings. And the next is our favorite route planner tool. So I had in the past a few different ones, RV Trip Wizard and whatever. Google Maps doesn't really allow you to plan because you have to think of the height and length of your vehicle. So my favorite is the Garmin RV 890. I still think that it could use some improvement, but that's my favorite so far, and we do have a video about that.
I'll link that up here for you guys. If you want to go see the Garmin RV 890 that we have, you can check it out over there.
And thanks again, Pastor David, for asking us this question. And if any of you have a question or a topic that you think we could cover, go ahead and leave it in the comments.
That's right. We love to see the comments. And if you're still around, give us a thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything except a click of the mouse. And it helps us out. We'd really appreciate it. Well, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around to the end. We'll see you next time on Jaw Jacking with Jarhead and Ginger.
Bye.